What's going on, beautiful people? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Black Sheep Perspective. Today's guests are returning guests, close friends of mine, awesome dudes. I have Marvin Schultz, who is an author, a two-time author, if I'm not mistaken, has a great book that really took off his beginning career that eventually led into what he does now. And the coincidental part is that his best friend, Chris Viera, was a big reason that he influenced Marv, minus the broken heart, to write this book. And ever since then, these two dudes embarked on a journey. Chris had great advice. Marv went through some lows, picked up the great advice, built his own, and then eventually you guys, I think right before the pandemic, right before it?
2020. Yeah, literally.
Yeah, right about there. You guys started an amazing podcast, to me, one of Miami's best podcasts, the Coffee Breakup. I don't want to call it a relationship advice podcast, but well, how would you categorize it?
At this point, it's more than just relationships. We've talked about finance, economics, like
that's true. You have,
lifestyle.
yeah.
But it's about everything.
I think it all revolves around just trying to become like the overall best individual that you can be, and that requires having a healthy relationship with yourself. And if you can have that, then you can have healthy relationships with everyone around you, including if it's relationships, if it's professional, or just platonic, like him and I that were friends.
Right.
So I think that's kind of the whole basis of just trying to be the best individual you can to then nurture the healthiest relationships around you.
I think one of my favorite parts about knowing you guys is seeing your journey, and you guys have seen mine as well, because we were like right there. I was a little bit before you guys, and seeing your growth, because you guys, when I met you, you were fucking what, 26, 25? Might have even been 24. I don't know. You were young.
No, 26, 7.
Yeah, 27.
Yeah, just past, yeah.
Just about to turn 27, and and so much has happened. So much in our personal lives, career switches, all kinds of changes, dating, relationships, the people that we're with now, and so it's been quite a journey. I guess it's funny looking back now how much has happened. I guess time just goes by so quick, and you just kind of have to catch your breath sometimes and slow down. But
the irony of a broken heart and what you had to go through and everything, and how you helped them out, and whatever your perspective was back then about women and relationships and men and all that, fast forward, obviously things have changed big time with this generation, with COVID, with social media. But now you guys are both got great women in your lives. Off camera, we were talking the forbidden talk.
A little bit. About the next steps.
What men don't fear, but men are kind of like, dude, we really got to?
Yeah.
And, why not? Quick little piggyback off of it. I was asking you guys right before we started recording, hey, you guys are now deep into your relationships. Marvin, you've been a little bit deeper for a little bit longer?
Just a little bit. So we met COVID, literally summer 2020, started dating seriously late 2020. So almost, like going on almost 4 years. Officially, we started in 2021. So about going on, what?
When did you?
Like officially, the beginning of 2021.
Yeah, so you're like about a year more than me.
Yeah, but we met like literally during COVID. So
I remember that.
Yeah, we took things very slow. When we started dating, nothing was really open. Everything was closed. Everything was shut. First day we had to go to Lagna because it was like a spot that's that's open, that's outdoors. Yeah. So a lot has happened. So many things, so many experiences, and it's been quite the journey. But
made it through COVID.
Yeah.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You don't live with your girlfriend.
We do. Yeah. We officially moved recently. I think April, beginning of April.
Big step for you guys.
Oh, that is big. Okay.
Yeah,
but both of you.
It doesn't really. It feels almost the same because she spent so much time already. So I was like, let's make it official. But to the point where we hopefully, if at some point we'll get married and engaged and all that stuff like that eventually. But it was kind of like the next step, and she spent so much time with me that it just kind of made sense for us to just, hey, it's moving together. What
do you guys think is, because now you're both in the situation. First off, what do you guys think in your opinion? You don't have to base it on, because I know you've had Dr.
Hasty.
Yeah, he was awesome. You had him twice on your podcast. Yeah. And I question some of his beliefs, but I see where they come from. I can see the reasoning behind it. But now you guys can make your own opinions. I mean, you always had them, but now it's a lot more educated, a lot more experience, a lot more wisdom. So now that you've gotten to this point, both have girlfriends, great girlfriends. You've both been for a while. Chris, you also live with yours. That happened over a year ago.
Yeah.
Right. And now, so when do you think after dating, when it's okay, that's my girl. Let's not get all into keep it too broad where we're seeing each other. What do you mean? Does that mean you can see other people? No, like this is your girl, you're her man. All right. Once that's official, how long do you think until somebody should? Because Hasty's against this.
Yeah.
How long do you think until you guys should move in together? And obviously, you guys aren't married yet.
Yeah.
Should one do it after or before being married?
Ooh.
We know where you're at on that, I would assume.
Good. Yeah.
And in terms of how long you should wait or should be dating until you move in together, I would say at least a year, maybe even longer. I think a year and a half, 2 years. I think but it also depends on your age, because like that sounds great when you're like 25,
Right.
but if you're like fucking
Older.
45 years
Yeah.
old, you're gonna wait 2 years to move in together? Probably not.
Right.
But I'd say a benchmark at a bare minimum a year. I don't know how people move in together after 6 months, and I know it could work. I'm not saying it never works, but I'm saying I don't really agree with that idea.
So I know people that they have they've been talking to people, and like they were, I guess, like in their own lives, like, oh, like my rent is finishing and I just started dating this guy and I had to move into somewhere, so it just made sense for both of us to move in together while we just started dating. And that never usually works out historically, and it did for this person specifically that told me about it. They didn't last very long because then you don't really know the person. And I think that it really doesn't matter the time frame. I just think it matters. For example, for me, I've known my girlfriend forever. Like since I was a little kid, we rekindled in college. So we really know each other. So we moved in, relatively quickly, but more so because I got transferred to work by where she lives. So we had already been dating for a while. So she's like, hey, like, I'd rather you just be here. Why don't you just stay here? So after a couple of days, it kind of turned into how you were with Claudia, where it's like, hey, just move in already. So then I did that. But I think for anyone else who like just starts dating someone, 6 months is quick. However, if you do a lot of like the pre-work where you really try to get to know the person and you know that you're like you could trust this person, I don't really think a time frame matters. But I would say anywhere from 6 months to a year would be early. But I think it's if you're doing the right things, not like
I can agree with that. I
would say way over a year, like Marvin said.
Yeah, six months to a year sounds early.
6 months is crazy.
But like look at my situation, because like I've known her for a while, but like I moved in relatively quick.
Right. You moved in, mainly because of convenience.
It worked out for both of us.
Exactly.
Because she wanted me there.
And you
kind of too.
You've known her before. You had history.
Right, that's my situation.
But if you didn't have history.
That's what I said. That's exactly.
I got a friend. This is really coincidental because all this just happened. Man, if he watches the podcast like he should, he's one of my fucking closest friends. He's gonna obviously he knows what we're talking about. So, great friend of mine. He was with this girl for I think 2.5 years. I think that's where they hit, right? And we all loved her. The whole crew loved her. The friend, we got a big group of friends, right? And everybody loved her. And I'm gonna just avoid saying their names, just so I don't put the shit on blast. Sure. We hated to see that they broke up. It happened eventually, right? It happened very, very recently, and a lot of us were puzzled because we were like, what the fuck, dude? She's an amazing girl. Like, she's beautiful. She's successful. She's this, she's that. He's also an amazing guy. He is successful, good looking, takes care of himself, all that. We didn't know the details. And it's none of our business. As close as we are, we're a family, but we don't need to know details, right? But it's crazy because the women in the group kind of leaned on the side of he's in the wrong. Like, there's always somebody who's in the wrong. And right now it's him. It's the man. It's my homeboy. And they couldn't see that they basically pointed in his direction like, you led this on too long. You could have cut this off earlier. That's kind of the toss-up. That's kind of like what's in limbo as to like, is that where he was wrong or were they both wrong, And this is where it becomes like, okay, well, when is it right or wrong? Because what if he caught hints where it's like, a year in, a year and a half in. The reason I mention this is because he never asked her to move in. And once this was all said and done and over, and now we all went our ways and blah, 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 one of the things that we talked about was, it's a good thing she didn't move in because that would have been a hell of a harder breakup, and they probably would have done what typically happens, which is stretch out the relationship because there's so many things, financial ties, I got to go move somewhere, blah, blah, blah. And, it's one of those things. So we were kind of congratulating for making that decision, for not making that decision. But then in retrospect, when we talk about what you guys just said, they passed the year mark, way past it, 2 years. Why didn't he pull that trigger? Do you think he might have seen something earlier and maybe didn't want to commit to it? Because I personally feel like at a certain age, and you did mention it, or you mentioned it, at a certain age, you probably would move quicker. I personally, and we talked about this on our prior podcast, I want to find out your worst as quick as possible because that's where you see, the worst. Are you fucking farting in bed? Are you picking your nose? Do you got bad habits? Are you lazy? Do you not know how to wash the dishes after you use them?
Yeah.
You got to see that. How are you in the morning when you're grumpy?
So you feel like moving in sooner rather than
I do
later
favor that.
makes more
Yes,
sense.
I do favor that, but definitely depending on the circumstances.
Right.
You know, there's your circumstances. Hell yeah. What are you waiting for? Jump in. You know. But yeah, depending on the circumstances. I like the year mark. And I can understand the 6 months as much as it's fast. If you're older and other things play a role.
Other priorities, yeah. Happy medium.
Yeah, I think it's a medium.
Now, the tougher topic. So, once all this happens, now, are you applying? Well, we've been together this long,
Yeah.
and this is probably the right time to, if I'm gonna pop the question, pop it. Or now that we're moved in together, we got to at least live together this long before I attempt to pop the question.
Well, I think that's a very, very good question, because for you, it almost like it had to make sense to the move in, and the only way it made sense, at least for your partner, was we have to move forward.
Yeah. So for just to give you a little bit insight. So for my partner, it's very important that, in theory, she wanted to be engaged first to at least to move in. But I assured her, like, listen, I do want to get engaged, because her fear was like, I don't just want to move in and then get stuck, which a lot of people do.
Right.
They move in together and then things get pushed away and pushed off, and there's never a ring. The next thing you know, you're living together with somebody for 4, 5, 6 years, and there's no ring.
Damn,
And
did
if-
she say that? Did she use us as an example by any chance?
Who, you guys?
Yeah.
No, she would never.
All right, just making sure.
Don't believe that.
Anyways,
No, she wouldn't. What, would be applicable.
Anyways, go.
But no, so she just didn't want that to be in that situation, which, she was very transparent from the beginning. From the very, very beginning when we started dating, that was one of her kind of like, I don't want to say prerequisites, but that was really important to her.
Okay.
And then when she did officially move in together, which was a few months ago, I made it clear, like, trust me, like, I don't just want to move in with you and then just stay complacent and just stay there. Like,
We're going somewhere.
Right.
We are going somewhere. Like, I assured her that, and she knows that I keep my word, and that marrying her is just as important to me as it is to her. In that aspect of, like, yeah, like, I know why you want to do this, and it is important to me as well, and we'll get there. You just have to trust me that we're gonna get there together. And so she did, and she does, and obviously I love her for it. And so we're living together now, and I think it's important to live together, at least for a little bit. I'm not saying you have to live together for years to come to know if this is the person for you, but you gotta, in my opinion, I know some people might disagree with it, but at least for a few months, maybe even a year, hey, live with this person, so hey, who is this person?
From the experiences that you guys have had with all the interviews you've done and the different people that you've spoken to, whether people our age who've gone through experiences or specialists like the doctors or psychologists or whatever, do you now think that marriage is just as important in regards, because like you mentioned, the ring, and I think you guys believe in God. I don't know, you're not churchgoers, but your Christian or Catholic beliefs, or no?
Higher power.
Okay,
Higher
I didn't
power
know
for
that.
sure. Certain Christian beliefs, yeah. I don't-
Okay,
He's more religious than
I
I
don't go to
I
church
guess
or
I'd
something,
say,
but yeah.
the whole ring, obviously in our line of work, podcasters, we look at other podcasts, we study other people. You want to be sound in a lot of different levels of information to talk about, to discuss, and so on and so forth. A lot of the shit that I've been seeing, and these are big podcasts with great guests and great hosts. And when they discuss these topics of marriage and whatnot, it seems like, I'm not trying to stir some shit up, but if it happens organically, let it be. It seems like marriage is a real trap. And I don't mean against a man or a woman, but it does not favor the man, and it doesn't really favor two people together. It's more of like, well, this is what I've been taught, that if it's as real as it's supposed to be, then this is the closing deal. You have to marry me. You got to put that ring on me, or if not, this is not real enough. And I'm not saying that we need to grow past that, but I know that it's, to me, from the studies that I've done, it's not in our favor at all. And it's like, why are we really doing this? Do you not believe that I love you? Do you not believe I want to be with you for the rest of my life? Why do we got to do this? And forget about having expensive weddings and all that ludicrous shit.
It's a whole nother
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah, so I think that this is the broke boy in me talking, but I think that marriage has been romanticized in Hollywood and,
Yes.
social media. And for example, like my girlfriend, she's a wedding photographer. So she goes to some events.
Oh, you're up a slippery slope,
Yeah,
bud.
so she follows other photographers too, and like the type of events that they do, like they're extravagant, So you know, she's a princess and like she deserves everything. And I wish I can, you know, be in a position to give her that. But I also think that because it's been so romanticized in Hollywood, where it almost feels like this is the only way to prove that, you know, we're going to be happy because everyone else does it. And that's where I'm a little bit, you know, kind of annoyed by it because, yeah, I think most men, they're just like, listen, like, I love you. I ain't going to go nowhere. So I think this is enough, right? But for them, they're like, no, well, I want the ring and I want the marriage and I want this and the dress and then my family and all these things. So I think it's more of like a business at the end of the day because it's been, again, so romanticized by Hollywood where it's almost like, okay, well, there's a wedding coordinator involved. There's the venues, there's the vendors, there's the wedding dress, the wedding planner, the music, the DJ. Like there's so many hands and like mouths that are being fed where, you know, you start to add up the price tag. And I'll give you another example. Let's say, for example, you wanted to go to a venue and you say, hey, look, this is just for an event. It's one price. But if you say it's for a wedding, it's like 3-4x of whatever the price is. So it's like it's almost designed just to make money. And that's where I'm a little bit annoyed because I don't think love should have a price tag. But I guess because of how romanticized it is, it's almost like, well, you do have to come up with something. And my girlfriend, she does want something, and like she wants it to be special, and I want to make it special. But it's just a little bit frustrating because then you have like those not stereotypes, but almost like those pressures of, oh, it has to be good enough or the ring has to be big enough, especially in like an economy like now. It's almost like, damn. But again, that may just be the broke boy in me because if I did have money like that, I'd be like, fuck it, I ain't no bitch. Get her whatever the fuck she wants.
Maybe.
What do you think?
Because
we're both kind of like in this situation.
We are.
For sure.
Yeah, it's true.
So there was an interesting study that I saw. It's the more a couple spends on the wedding, the more likely it is that they're ending up getting divorced.
I've never heard that. Really?
Yeah, I'll send it to you. There's a correlation between how much money you spend and the chances of you and your partner separating after the marriage. So the more you spend, the more likely.
Really?
Yeah, for sure.
Did y'all ladies hear that? Damn it, you heard it. Sure. I don't. He doesn't know exactly. Maybe we'll put the link in the description. But that's an interesting fact.
Do you know why? Did it explain why, or was there?
I'm not 100%. I don't want to
That's okay.
Yeah.
Misspeak, but I don't know exactly why. It's kind of saw the headline and I'm like, oh, that's interesting because people think like, oh, like I have to. Again, there is no limit on a wedding, and like I have to spend this much money. But it's like, for what are you trying to prove to the world? Maybe you're just trying to signal to everybody else that you're happy, when in reality, maybe you're.
The more I spend, the happier I am.
Exactly, and then what's the root of it all? So
it's kind of like. Sorry to interrupt you. It's kind of like the fact that the couples that post themselves the most on social media, 70% of them are going through the worst times. They're actually doing it. They're actually doing it to try to prove it to themselves, to tell people out there, hey, you saw us looking like shit, but we're good, we're happy.
To project.
Yes,
it's funny because I barely post. Well, I barely post shit, but I never really post like with my significant other. Like I don't make it like a point, like, oh, let's post this page, or like, we're having breakfast, or like, oh, we're going out. Never. We just kind of enjoy the time together when we have it, and I'd say pretty happy.
Yeah, right. I mean, it kind of. I mean, I don't want that to backfire on you because you guys post, but
post a lot?
But you guys travel. I mean, you're not posting.
No, but that's different.
Yeah, that's different.
I post when I travel with my girlfriend, but I don't post
like every day, like
every
morning,
little
good morning with my girl,
right,
bedtime with my girl, bedtime routine,
exactly,
making breakfast with my girl, serving my girl coffee.
Now, how do you feel about the whole the how much is put on the price of the diamond, the ring, the size?
Have you been looking?
Like even
I've
that
been
shit's out
dabbling
there.
a little bit too. I've already been checking it out.
Yes.
You've been already dabbling already?
I have. Can we? I don't know if we can cut this part. No, I don't want to.
No, I'd rather not. So
I'm sending you guys a study, by the way.
Well, you don't have to say the plans, but you've been looking.
I've been looking.
What ranges have you been?
Audio's kind of low. No worries. So you're looking at a minimum probably like $5,000 and up. You know, it depends. I guess it depends what type of size, what ring you want. Is it a lab grown? Is it a real diamond? For me, for my
shape, size, clarity, cut, all
exactly.
Okay, so obviously you're not giving yourself up like saying cloudy or you're about to buy a ring, whatever. But you know, if you're in this phase, you're gonna window shop, whatever.
I mean,
so what's
what's
influencing you to choose that 5,000 or better? What is it? What's gonna make you feel like? No, but for real, because here you said 5. I'm like, damn, I've seen rings for cheaper, but okay.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
Where? Send me the link. So for me in particular, like my girl, she likes a very specific ratio of a ring. It's like an elongated cushion ring that has a ratio of at least 1.5.
I've been doing homework.
It's pretty rare to see, and it would be a lab grown diamond. So obviously it's going to be cheaper.
Let me check.
Than a diamond that is found. naturally.
Right.
Although lab-grown diamonds are real diamonds, by the way, whatever. So, but the ratio is very specific what she wants. And then for her finger, how it would look, I have a number in mind, and I've looked around plenty, and it's just been very difficult to find the ratio of the size that she wants, and if that's really what she wants. And it's like, and she doesn't care about really the size of it too much, but she wants the ratio, like how it looks, and that's important to her. So if
so specific.
For that specific ratio, because it's all she ever wanted since the day I fucking met her before. So if she wants that ratio, then that comes into there's a certain amount of money that is required for that kind of category.
You know, something that bugs me is what the fuck does a man get? Like, real talk, what the fuck does the man get? Think about this. Like, the man only has Father's Day one day. One day out the year, Father's Day. And it ain't that overly celebrated. You don't go to restaurants and have Father's Day specials and Father's Day dish. You don't have that. And then in the wedding, it's all about the woman. And you keep leaving us the fuck out. Like, what can you give me a $5,000 fishing rod combo? Like, it's wild, but that's where society has taken us based upon old traditions. And I know slowly but surely it's going in different directions, but it's still there. It's about the woman.
Yeah.
It really is.
I'm trying to find the link so I can send it to you guys.
For what?
For the diamond.
Meantime, Chris, you're just going to give her old candy pop.
No, it's funny because we actually had
Baby,
someone.
I love you. You
listen,
better take this.
Listen, we were talking about it the other day. So we had someone on our podcast who she just got married.
Yeah.
And actually, she's pregnant. Her name's Carly. Casa con Carly. She has her own shop or jewelry, earrings, necklaces. Go shop there. But yeah, no, she got proposed to with a ring pop. And supposedly the story was that she was in bed with her man one day and he just got up randomly and he left, the house. She's like, what the fuck is going on? He goes to the gas station or he goes somewhere, comes back and he goes onto one knee and he takes the ring pop out of the bag and he goes, Carly, I just know that this feels right and I couldn't wait anymore. I don't have the ring yet, but it'll come. For right now, this is what's going to do. Will you marry me? And she didn't give a fuck. She just loved him so much that she's just like, yes. Eventually, now, there was, I guess, conditions where he was going to be getting a ring and he had some, support to get a very nice ring that she wanted. She's also like in the gemstone industry, so she's like, I really want a specific type thing. Yeah. But at the end of the day, she said yes to the ring pop because she loved him so much. And then we were talking about it with our girlfriends in the chat. And my girlfriend's like, absolutely not. Yeah. Like, no fucking way. It better be this. And don't give him any ideas, Marvin. Yeah. So yeah, like there's I don't want to say pressures, but we've been informed of what they like. And I think as a man, if we love our women, we really do want to give that. What do men get in return?
Here we go. Don't say some bullshit for them, man.
We get amazing women by our side.
So I'm just gonna read the message that because you had said something. You were like, she got proposed with a ring pop, and she said yes because she loves the man she's with, which to me seems like the point of it all.
Is that not
it? Yeah, I thought the message was very accurate because it's like
you said, "Oh, good point."
Yeah, it is a good point because it's like, what's the whole point? Why are we doing this? It's like, because you love me, right? Okay, then why the fuck does it matter what I give you? If it's a fucking $10,000 ring or a fucking ring pop, right? Because what it is
it's a transaction,
right?
It feels more like a transaction than is what you're saying.
Point, yeah. And it's like, what are you doing this for? Are you doing this for you or for your family members or your friends, or you got to post on social media?
To see how big the ring is. In fact, it's funny because I remember there was a post of someone that it was a really, really tiny ring. And then someone reviewed or like they reacted to that video of her posting the ring and the diamond was small. Yeah. And she was like just talking shit about the ring, how small it was, whatever. And then that girl, actually with the ring, reacted to that video, like ranking on her. And she's like, listen, like I love my man. Like I love my ring. Like not everyone needs a fucking giant rock on their finger. I'm very happy with it. And I think maybe that goes a little bit deeper within the relationship where they're like, hey, like I'm happy with my man regardless what he gives me. Yeah. Whereas other people are like, no, I want something that's visually, I guess, reflected on what he loves me for. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, everyone's different.
Yeah.
Listen here, folks. Winter is amongst us. Spring's still a couple of months away. I know you guys are feeling this cool breeze. Why don't you go to blacksheepapparel.shop and go cop you some of the dopest sweaters, hoodies, long sleeve shirts, and everything else you can imagine to make you look fly for this season. Or maybe you're just getting ready for the summer or the spring. We got shorts, we got tank tops, we got it all. Make sure you go visit blacksheepapparel.shop to get the flyest gear and to remind the world that you're a proud black sheep. Now let's get back to the podcast. So let me ask you this now, right? So with y'all's experience with relationships and talking to experts and all that, what do you think are some of the biggest problems that's fucking up relationships? By now you have grown a substantial amount of wisdom just studying this and interviewing people and talking to people. You know, go ahead.
Sorry. Poor communication, and which ties into uncommunicated expectations. I think that's the biggest problem, where you expect something without communicating that to your partner, and then being upset or disappointed when that expectation doesn't get met, when they had no idea. So without having that communication with them, there's like, how can you get upset at something when you didn't even tell that person that you want that? And I think that that's one of the biggest issues, because we're just kind of walking into relationships like, well, he should know this, or she stopped doing this. And it's like, well, did you tell her that you like it when she does it, or it's important to you when you do it? I think that's probably one of the biggest ones. I guess more in serious relationships, because if you look at like these quick relationships that doesn't really end, like anything can trigger that. You're just like, I think most people, they just wanting to get into relationships, or they're rushing something and they're looking more physically. And then when it comes to actually like being with that person and spending time with that person, I think a good question that I asked someone, one of our close friends, Gabe, this was when he was dating someone a long time ago, where it's like, hey, you know, like she's very pretty, but I'm like, would you just hang out with her just to say what's up and watch a movie together? And he's like, fuck no. Like, I don't have that with her. Like, I don't really feel like that with her. So it's like, I think it's also that, like, really looking deep into that person to really feel like you have a connection with them, rather than just being with someone because you want to be with someone and you think that they're attractive enough to call them yours. Yeah. There's nothing deeper than that.
Would you agree with that? Anything you want to add to that?
No, for sure. Great point. The one thing I would have to add is that I think people go into relationships and they're very selfish. Like, what can I get from this person? What can I get from this man? What can I get from this woman? I want her to do this. I want him to pay for this, for that. It's like people just have these crazy expectations, and they just kind of extract. They want to extract from the other person, whether that is resources, whether that is sexual needs, whether that is,
you think so?
Favors. Yeah, I just think people are just going into relationships for the wrong reasons. Like, what can this person do for me versus how can I make this person's life better? And to me, that is one big problem that I have. Because like when I think about me, my relationship, I just want to make my girl's life easier. I want to do things for her just because I want to, not because I expect something in return. So a lot of these fucking relationships, people just come in, oh, I need my man to do this. I need my girl to fucking clean and cook for me and do this, No, you don't need a girl. You need a maid. And it's like,
or your mommy.
Yeah, you need your mom to fucking clean up after yourself. Or you need a guy to fucking pay for all your shit. No, you need a fucking ATM. It's just, there's no empathy. There's no understanding. There's no reciprocation. And so I think that is a big problem in relationships.
You guys think the dating game is threefold different than what it used to be?
You know, it's frustrating because, like, we talked about this the other day, where I feel like we're very fortunate because, like, if I didn't have my partner, I would be fucking nervous to go out into the dating game with all these expectations. And then again, maybe I've seen too many Andrew Tate videos, or I've been red pilled up the ass, where it's almost like all these women, all they want is my money, and I'm like, I don't have money, so maybe I can't get any women. It's like, I don't know anymore, because I mean, again, I found out my partner, I guess I found myself back to her, and we just always had a very different relationship where we wanted to be together. Where now, like to Marvin's point, it feels a little bit transactional. It feels like, okay, well, what can you do for me, and what can I get out of this? And it may not be true. I'm not in the dating game. If anything, I think that would be a question we can throw to you to see how you're feeling more about in this.
You're on the market, right?
No, seriously, yeah. I don't know what any updates with you, because you've been talking about us, but you know, some updates with you. I don't know if maybe you've been seeing somebody, and if so, I mean, where has your head been? And if you were to probably look for someone, where would someone at your situation, where you're currently at in life, where would you even try to date at this point, or where would you look for?
When we did, by the way, today's July 5th. Happy 4th of July to our beautiful country, America.
Freedom.
We had a great time. Me and my secondary family at the beach. Fort Lauderdale Beach is what we do on an annual basis. And I was catching up with this couple, Dago and Carolina, and me and Caro were vibing, and she was telling me, Wes, so what's up? What's up with the girlfriend situation? Because almost everybody has somebody in some shape or form. And, I was updating her and so on and so forth. So to answer that, my main thing is, I don't even want to call it pickiness anymore. I just have that checkbox that I refuse to go away from. And I think that my luck would be better if I were to give myself more opportunities. I don't give myself enough opportunities. I'm not out there. First of all, I'm not on no dating app. I'm not going to say these dating apps are shit, but it's they're either just trying to fuck or get one up on you. Like, they're getting free dates. And it really is. I mean, it is. I've seen
that. Have you felt that? Experienced that?
It happened with, matter of fact, it did happen with one chick. I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt I'm not gonna give her the benefit of the doubt. No, fuck that. No, she pulled one on me, and I'll fucking say her name. I wouldn't give a fuck.
No.
I really wouldn't care.
Let's be the bigger person here.
Because the reason I say this because I met her on I think it was a Bumble. We went on a date like 2 weeks after vibing and talking for a little bit. Went to Duffy's. It was nearby. She was nearby. We were nearby. Super cool and chill, We went over there. We had a great time. We got drinks, and then we ate, and then we had one more drink, whatever. We vibed, dude. It was dope. She's an awesome chick. Dope chick, fun chick, shit talker, all that. Things that I'm into, fit, all those good things. It wasn't 2 days later, she came to my gym to hang out with me, this, that. She hung out, whatever. It was a week or so after. And no funny business happened in between. She just kind of disappeared, like kind of ghosted me a little bit. And the minute I feel like you're ghosting or you're texting back a day later or something like that, 2 days later,
crazy.
that I'm like, nah, you're not into me. Something's up, something's up. So the minute she didn't text back and it had been a day later, okay, I'm not gonna text anymore because I know I sent the right text and I'm never somebody be on top of your shit or whatever. Sure enough, it was only like 3 weeks after that she's posting madly in love with some dude. I mean, she was just bomb pictures, picture after picture. I found the love of my life. And all I thought was, she must have been in some breakup period or some whatever with him. She didn't just meet him a week after me, fell in love that deeply, that quickly, and then now she's showering, the social media networks with all these pictures. So yeah, when I did that, not detective work, but just I inferred an intellectual, assumption. She used me for not a meal, but she used me for a good time, and it's not like we hooked up, but she used me for a good time, but with no sincere, genuine distraction. Yes, and who's to say something's wrong with that? I don't know if you want to say something's wrong with that, but I deeply think social media has influenced people to think the wrong thing and to see the like they say, the devil's in the details. They're looking into the little details by watching these dumbass people doing interviews and these street interviews, and these women are saying that rock better be this, he better spend that dick better be ate or better, and blah 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 blah. But the truth is, none of you bitches are getting none of that. You're just yelling that shit out, and I feel like they're just piggybacking what's stupid and funny to say on social media. They're not showing all the interviews where regular people are like, no, I don't mind. They do it here and there to put some balance. But a lot of these people are just toxic people saying dumb shit, and it's making other people think, like me, I'll be looking like, fuck these bitches. Look at these girls, because I'm over here seeing them, and I get kind of influenced by, look at these girls. They're out. They're going out for dinner dates just to get free meals. They're getting 3 free meals a week.
Serial daters.
So but you need to be careful with that, because if you're gonna rely on social media for that, like, they're not gonna show the ones that are like, oh yeah, like,
Yeah, because they don't want it. That doesn't get attention.
Controversial enough for it to reach your eyes.
Right.
Whereas the ones that are like really controversial, whether it's like, look at this fucking bitch, gold digging motherfucker. It's like that. All the comments on there will eventually reach you because there's more attention on that.
Right.
So then now we get almost like brainwashed into thinking that's all the women.
And I'm admitting it, and I hate to admit it. I feel like a weaker of a person to let it influence me. But if it's doing that to me, and I think I'm a strong-willed motherfucker, imagine what the majority of these weak people or the simps or the this, what's it doing to them?
20 years old, 18 years old, you think every fucking woman is like that.
Exactly.
Which I also think that's the problem with actually the problem with Andrew Tate to a certain degree, because you create all these almost like these virgins that have never even dated a single girl, that they're like, oh, if all these women are like this, let me just stay on my grind that Andrew Tate and like all these fucking these bitches and whatever, which, I defend Andrew Tate to a certain view on like how he wants a man to be the ultimate kind of alpha. That way he can have as much value to give to society, and also, to be that high value man that women like. But he did have his phase of like how he was really kind of aggressive with women and how he was talking about women. And if you have, you know, social media and all these young guys who maybe they aren't mentally and emotionally as strong as you to see that, you're going to be brainwashed into thinking that every single woman is like that. And then now you're just going to put up a wall saying, well, fuck all these women when you've never even dated one.
Right. And by the way, to answer your question, I don't want to feel like I dodged it. People were dropping comments saying, oh, he never answered. You know, I would, it's always been the same. I would still love to meet a great woman and love to be in love. I don't say the marriage thing because I'm not trying to we don't got to get married. I'm 47. If we're going to do this, why do we got to go through all that? I'm telling you right now, that'll be a quick stipulation that I'll tell a woman, hey, I'll love you to death and treat you like my queen, but we're not doing the married thing. We're not throwing away money like that. I don't care what it is, you know, your little fantasy thing that you want to have and this your second marriage, whatever. Like, nah, I'm not doing it.
Okay. You have a comment?
No.
So my question to you was, how long ago was this date that you went on?
Oh, man, that was like, shit. The one I'm talking about, maybe a year ago.
Okay. So my next question, because you said that, well, you don't want to get married or anything like that. And we recently talked about age gaps, which actually my neighbor really wants to be on the podcast. To talk about his personal experiences with that. But with you, because you are how old?
47.
So 47 years young. You're still in shape. You look great. And I got to give you, I mean, at 47, I would love to be in the condition that you have.
Absolutely.
Honestly, I've seen other 47s. I've seen fucking 37-year-olds that look like shit. But with that being said, I think it would make more sense. And for you, it isn't bad to date on a bigger age gap because you take care of yourself. But how old was the one that you went on a date? Because I feel like the younger, even all the way up to 30, because we're with our significant others, they want marriage. Right?
Yeah.
So for you to say, well, look, I'm 47. I don't want marriage. I've been through that shit. I ain't going to give you that shit.
I try not to even entertain anything under 30. Yeah.
Okay, so then.
Maybe even 35. I just don't want to come out like a hypocrite or put a wall up if I meet an awesome 32-year-old.
Okay.
And you know, she's dope and she's
flex,
this and
so
she's that and whatever. And it's like, oh, she's 32. I'm not gonna.
Seems reasonable.
No, it does. But then they're still flirting with they want to have a kid.
32
they haven't really made their final decision.
There's some women who say, you know, I don't want kids at all.
Yeah, and they've said it earlier.
Those will be suitable for you.
But then the doctor, sorry to cut y'all, didn't Dr. Is it Heath? Hasty. Didn't Dr. Hasty say that women, well, it's a statistic that women, they don't truly know whether or not they want that kid until they fall in love and so on and so forth and do so at a certain time frame. Like they can just say whatever they want to say, but when that nurturing part comes out and it's never official until they're in their mid-30s. They can claim all they want beforehand. Yeah.
I mean, at that point, you would have to date somebody, what? You're going to date somebody as 35 because you know that they're not going to be able to have kids?
Well, damn, you just fucking talk down on 35-year-old women. They can have kids. It's just,
they can't have kids at 35, I mean.
But
higher risk.
Funny part, Carolina was asking me, what is your age bracket, Wes? What are you looking for? And I even told her, I go, the same way we're talking about right now. I said, Caro, listen, let me make it clear. I can date a 47-year-old. She can be 47. That doesn't throw me off at 47. No, as long as you looking fit.
You got to be right. They got to be your taste.
The fit life, that healthy
and
life.
She ain't want marriage.
Exactly.
What does she come with kids?
I discussed that too. That's a monkey wrench to throw in there because again, like I told Caro, imagine I take in the kids. All right, I'm gonna put an age cap on the kids. Why? Yeah, like a. Yeah, can't be any
for me to date.
Can't be any younger.
What's the cap?
I was thinking probably no less than 10. Probably
no less than 10.
No less than 10.
I
Yeah.
think you're gonna say like 8.
No.
Enough, yeah.
No,
but the reason
flex,
being, but here's the scary part, right? So let's say I meet a homegirl and she's awesome and the vibe is real and all the boxes are checked. Like, got one. She got this kid. All right, cool. Kid seems cool. I'm great with kids. You know, all that riffraff. We're together a year, 2 years. When it's time for me to put down on that kid or reprimand him or whatever, hey, babe, can I tell him something? Because he was just cussing you out and you ain't do shit. Or he's being lazy as fuck while you out at work and this and that. Am I allowed to tell him something? We've been together this long. Now you have this crossroads. You either have the woman who's like, yeah, go ahead. Just do it respectfully like any responsible adult would. But then that kid is going to be like, you ain't my daddy. And now I got to deal with this because I'm not his dad.
Right.
And if the dad's involved in the life, there goes a whole nother scenario. Now, I've seen this happen a lot. We've been together too long, this and that. I say something to the kid, and now my lady's like, don't you talk to him like that. That's my kid. Okay. That's a lot to deal with right there, man.
So the first thing that I told you of why relationships don't work is I think it's uncommunicated expectations. So I think that you can probably have this conversation and be like, hey, you know what? I know you have a child. Let me know what my role is here. Like, and when that role changes. Because obviously we're dating. It seems like it's serious. But if something were to happen, how do you want me to handle this?
Right.
Because I know that it's your child, but if we move forward, eventually I'm going to build a bond with him. And I think that there's a level of respect that we should have, a boundary.
Yeah.
So maybe having just as simple as that communication can solve everything that you just
Of course.
brought up. Because it's true. You might be in a crossroads where you're like, well, what do we do if this happens? But if you talk about it beforehand, then you can be ready for that situation.
Right. I completely agree
Maybe
with
the
you.
age doesn't matter because at that point you're like, oh, no less than 10. But maybe the single mother that you're dating, she's probably like, well, you know what? He's 8 years old, but you know what? Like, you know, if things go well and you'll meet him, like, of course, if he crosses the line, I want you to show him what a real man should act like. Even if it's less than 10, it might work, right? So there's a bit of flexibility or you're still set no matter what.
Well, yeah, there's always flexibility, of course. No, there's no super hard set. I'm just totally acknowledging that you can have that clear communication. Listen, man, I'm not blasting on women, but they are different animals, bro. Just the same way we are. They're different animals. When those chromosomes are feeling a certain way, their period this, when that motherhood comes out because they're pregnant, and it's like, dude, once a lady gets pregnant, you don't know what type of woman you're going to have after that pregnancy.
Well, it's also true.
She can become now more of a mother, less of a wife. And that happens a lot. That happens a lot.
Very good point.
So you don't know that there's a lot going on in a woman all the time, and especially when the kid's involved. So yes, ideally, of course, I'm going to communicate. I'm on the first date, I'm dropping all kinds of communicated shit. Like, let's get this here. Here's the contract. What do you feel about this? You know? But it doesn't matter until the time comes. So it's a scary flirt for somebody like me to be like, all right, she said all the right things. She got a little 10-year-old, seems cool. Let's rock with it. We'll see when it happens. That's all.
Right, but if you would have the conversation early on, she would already have the kid. It's not like she's like, I'm pregnant, and then because you were saying like things could change after the baby's born, but the baby's already born in your case if you were to date somebody. So
Right.
I can completely agree with what Chris was saying in terms of like have that conversation, bring it up, and see like where your role lies eventually down the road, because she might say, hey, listen, that's my kid. You will never touch my kid. And then at that point, it's your decision to say, do I want to move forward with this person?
Exactly, right.
Because I don't think you should, because it's like, if this is going to be serious and eventually we'll live together, we'll be together, I'm not saying you're going to be the next dad, but at the end of the day, you have to have some type of authority over that child.
Right.
And if that woman is not willing to accept that, then maybe this is not the person for you.
Assuming you guys are obviously with your future wives and everything's going well, have you guys had the baby talk? Like, hey, babe, we keep going with this. You know, when would you be thinking about wanting to have kids and all that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know if you want to go first.
No, you can go first.
It's stuttering.
So I'm 31. My girlfriend's 30. You know, we thought about at least like maybe another year and a half, and then we would probably start trying. Maybe we will probably try in like a year and a half, 2 years.
So before 32.
Before 32.
30, okay.
Yeah, 32 try.
So my girlfriend and I, we talked about actually by the end of this year to start trying. However, we went snowboarding earlier this year. She skis, I snowboard. We went earlier this year, and then we were like, damn, you know, if we start at the end of this year to get pregnant, if you're pregnant by the end of the year to next year, you won't be able to ski. And she's like, damn, I really want to go skiing again. So I think we're delaying it again. So we're not going to start by the end of this year, but potentially. Well, she did say, she's like, well, if it were to happen, because we already got our tickets, but if it were to happen, you can let them know, like, hey, like, I got pregnant, I can't ski. And they'll give you a refund. So there's that. But if we can push it till after ski season, then probably
When is it? February? Or?
Yeah, so ski season starts, I would say probably by the end of this year, like winter of this year, and then over to, I would say, the end of April of next year, May, pushing it.
What are the dates?
Huh?
What are the dates?
And end of April, early May would be like the end of ski season. So if it were to happen now, it's like, all right, fuck it, whatever. But if it could be delayed and we're controlled with it, it would probably be like after April, May, I guess, at least for me. But no, so to answer your question, yes, we have been talking about children. We've even talked about names. I'm curious if you've even talked about potential names. Oh my God, I can't wait to hear yours. But things like that.
Gay.
The thing is, no, but listen, the thing is that we've been together for a long time, and we talk about our future and all these things. And since we're very serious, we talked about the ring, the wedding, life, the house, kids, parenting. Like we've already had these conversations. So yeah, children for us, like we've already had that conversation.
And I think you need to have those conversations. Like, how's your parenting? Disciplining.
How were you raised? What would you do?
Exactly. What is acceptable? What is not? Your beliefs. What type of school would you want your children to go to? Those are fundamental questions that you need to know about your partner. Like, a lot of these people are like, oh, fucking wing it. And then you're pregnant and you have a kid, and then this person doesn't want you to have your kids vaccinated, but you really want your kids vaccinated.
Right.
What the fuck are you going to do? So some of these questions may sound trivial, but
or ridiculous.
Or
it's like vaccination. Why the fuck would I even bring that up? And it's
but trust me, because
it's true. It's big.
Some people give a fuck.
When it comes, because I used to date somebody who was very adamant about not vaccinating their children at all.
Really?
At all, yeah. And so that's a very big topic that you have to, especially now with COVID. I mean, I think that can open the door for a lot of more people to kind of have that discussion. But it's a fundamental thing that you need to be on the same page with. Religion, education, disciplining your kids. I mean, disciplining your kids.
Do you guys think that someone, let's say like me, very agnostic, I won't say atheist, but very agnostic, I don't believe in a higher power like that, and if it exists, I don't believe in it like somebody who's answering prayers and hearing all that stuff. Like that I don't believe. A creator, an almighty, powerful creator. Maybe there's more than one. I can definitely fathom that. But do you think that somebody like me who does not have all that could be in a great, healthy relationship that will make it through with the complete opposite? Not an overly religious, but somebody who wants to go to church on Sundays and stuff like that. No, right?
No. And I'll give you an example that one of my buddies he had. I forgot what the situation was. I think that his girlfriend had like a loss in the family, and her mother or something was very religious. And she's like, well, you just have to pray. Like, God will answer all your questions or whatever. Right. So then she goes every single Sunday, and she gets upset when he doesn't go. And he's like, listen, like, I'm Christian, like, I believe, but it's like, dude, I don't want to go every Sunday. Like, I'm not like that. And then if he goes, listen, I can't go this Sunday, she'll make it a big deal. She'll be like, what do you mean? Like, we talk like it's So I think it depends. Because if it's someone who's really like that, that's within their religion, and they go even on Fridays and stuff like that, like they have like these things. Like, I'm not religious, so I don't really know. It'll be very difficult for them to even want to budge, because then they're going to almost like judge you for not believing. And another example with one of our good friends, well, we don't really talk to him. He came back into my life. We got into a big deal because of that. Like I'm not really a firm believer. Like I'm more of like maybe, So I kind of come with a more curious mind of like, hey, like answer this for me. Maybe, maybe I do believe. Maybe I don't. And he would just look at me like, what do you mean you don't believe, bro? Are you like seriously?
Right.
And I think that when you're that, I guess, a fanatic within religion, I think that that's where it could be very dangerous. And if you're going to try to date a woman like that, and if you don't believe like that, it'd be rough.
Being too extreme on anything is almost never a good thing.
I think it's healthy. Not even for yourself.
It's just, it doesn't matter which way you go. If you have extreme beliefs in something, it typically means that you're not willing to entertain too much more off that path.
Yeah.
And when you're not willing to entertain or at least hear, listen, study, journey into something because you're stuck on this path in an extreme way, it doesn't typically lead the right
too
in the right direction.
Because
exactly.
It's not just about religion. That can transfer into anything else.
Exactly,
because
right.
They're so firm. So imagine you're trying to have a conversation that maybe it makes some sense if you put logic to it, but emotionally or for whatever reason they don't want to budge because they're so stuck on it, then you're really going to bump heads on everything else. And I don't think it's going to work out for you.
I think that the chances of me finding that future right one, it to me, it's going to have to be in a setting that's common to me, which would probably be the gym. Something fitness world-wise. Why? Because that's what I want to surround myself with. I don't go anywhere where, like, if I see, okay, do you guys believe, I hate this saying, you can't meet the right person at a bar type shit. I hate that saying. I disagree with that, because if I go to the fucking bar, you're not going to tell me I'm a piece of shit or a scumbag because you met me at the bar. I just happened to go to the bar that night. What are you talking about? What's wrong with that? And if I meet a girl who's at the bar and she's chilling with her friends or a group of friends, I'm not going to think, oh, she's just a hoe because she's at the bar tonight. Like that, I don't think that. I can meet you at the bar and then we can just follow up from there. But I personally don't want to go through that whole fucking interview phase of like, all right, now the bar's over. Next day we're texting. Now we're chatting. And now, the whole getting to learn. only to put in weeks and a couple of dates and just to find out, oh man, she looks good and the bar was fun and we made out and whatever, but I just put in 3 weeks or 4 weeks of effort and it was nothing. That's the thing. Now, if I can meet you at the gym, I already know we're one step big closer in the right direction.
Sure. Yeah. I agree.
And I already got to see, a lot of the goods without you trying to hide it in a shady, dark area, and I have beer goggles on. That's a different thing. So, who knows? Maybe a friend of a friend, but I feel like I met everybody's friends already, and there's nobody there. So we'll see. But I'm not opposed to it. I'm not hard-headed. I just have a certain type that I'm looking for with certain beliefs and open-mindedness and so on and so forth, because that's what I am, and I want to harmonize. I don't,
No, I don't think it's a big issue if you happen to go out at a bar, or I guess maybe even whatever. I don't even know if I could say a club. If there's like a special occasion, I don't know. I was thinking, if there's like a special occasion, who knows? But as long as, and if you meet somebody there, that's great, because maybe it's your homegirl's birthday and it's my friend's birthday, so that's why we're here.
But then again,
if
like,
you're here every week,
I need to cut you off here because like you would never. Like, would you go to a club to celebrate your birthday?
I wouldn't go to a club.
Exactly, dude. So just think about that. Like,
but what if his friend did?
Maybe I have a friend.
You would go.
I have to see if I have a friend, dude.
We're trying to paint the picture. I get it. We're trying to paint the picture.
You have a friend, but then you hang out with your friend. What friends do you hang out with that go to clubs?
No one.
Exactly.
But if I did, then.
But you wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
The point is that it can happen. What I'm saying is
I get you.
don't trash on anybody, man or female, because they're at the I don't want to say club, but they're at the bar. They're letting loose, they're chilling, they're getting drinks. That doesn't mean that they're a bad person. It just doesn't.
Nonsense.
Yeah, exactly. But then now if you go, audio's kind of. But if you go to, if then we meet and then you find out you're at the club every fucking other week, now
that's a different
that's a problem, because we're not on the same page.
Right.
Nothing wrong with it, but I've done that 5 years ago. Like, I'm in a different chapter of my life, and we're not aligned with each other, which is fine. So I think there are certain stipulations. People were like, oh, you never find a good girl at a club, at a bar. I don't necessarily agree with it, but if you're there every week, obviously something's wrong.
What's up, you crazy people out there? Let me interrupt this podcast really quick just to give you a reminder. If you really like the gear that I'm rocking and you're a proud black sheep yourself, make sure you go check out blacksheepapparel.shop, where you can get all the dopest gear to help remind the world that you truly are a proud black sheep. We got caps, t-shirts, tank tops, shorts, sweaters, hoodies. I mean, you name it, we got it on there. Make sure you go show some love, show your support, and represent what you really are. Go to blacksheepapparel.shop. Now back to the podcast.
All right, so I think at the end of the day, it all comes down to common interests. So if your common interest, or I guess your main interest, is more the gym than it is the bar, I mean, because you can always go to the bar to go out every now and then. But if you want to be at the gym and you live in the gym and you're always at the gym, it would make more sense to find someone, significant other, who also loves the gym as much as you do, rather than the bar. Because again, if you're going to be going out to the bar, you can find that one person who's always in the gym that just went out that one time at the bar, just like you do. Because you don't go out to the bar that much. But I guess at the end of the day, that's what you want to look for. Someone that has the same interest as you. And I think that's what's going to actually hold over time.
I'm gonna challenge the all my followers and these beautiful people out there, or even the haters or the ball busters. Hey, y'all want to play Captain Hook 'em Up, what's it called? The Love Connection? You think you got the right person? I don't know, send them my way. Tell them to follow me. DM me something.
Maybe, yeah.
Just make sure she's about that fit life.
30, 35, ain't trying to get married. Don't
Right.
want no fucking
I don't want to hear shit about my weed smoking habit. That's what I
Maybe
do.
she will smoke also.
Hey, that's
That's
a
what
big
I'm
plus.
learning. I'm seeing a lot more people that are actually like more comfortable talking about it nowadays. I guess before it was almost
Yeah,
like,
you're right.
oh,
that
you
is
smoke
true.
weed, ew, but now
By
it's
the way,
like,
I
yo, burn
just saw a study that women, pay attention now. I just saw a study that women have bigger climaxes or do so easier if they smoke before having sex. Y'all better look that shit up and start the toting.
Really?
Yes. Start toting. That's it.
Really? Yo, maybe you and your girl should
We don't smoke at all.
maybe
Maybe we
if
should.
you
start.
really want to see some stars.
Yeah, look into it.
Maybe.
Marv, you're supposed to say, I already got her seeing stars, bro.
Yeah, dog.
I don't think I need that, but
You're
gonna get that.
Attaboy.
Nah, listen, women have it. I respect and love the hell out of women, and I think that they have the toughest job. I think they I'm not, we're in a bad place where it's men versus women at its worst right now. I hate it. We shouldn't be like that. We should not, but we are. We are at our worst right now. And I hate that because I respect and love women, but it is what it is. When they go through some of the shit that men cannot, we can try our best to try to sympathize or empathize, but we don't know what it is to carry a baby. We don't know what that connection is. Yeah. We don't know what it is once they have a baby, that amazing. Men feel amazing when they have a kid, period, just because, imagine what she feels like, with this kid. And it's a hard thing for them to balance. I can only imagine, that they know how to be a good woman, a good wife, a good girlfriend, but this thing just came out of them, this creation that's been riding with them for 9 months. Just came out of them, and it's like, yeah, I love you, but chill, and then maybe when it does happen, dynamics get weird. You feel me? I mean, because I know very common. I've heard a lot of men say that once my wife had that kid, shit went down the drain for us. I mean, she's an amazing woman, but she barely wanted to have sex. Her hormones were off, and she was turned off by my cologne or by my body smell. I've known men where the wife kept asking him to switch soaps because something about his pheromones was just throwing her off, but it all happened after the kid. So a lot of shit happens that we have to try our best to be more sympathetic to, but it's difficult for us. It's difficult for us. And by the way, women, they don't make it easier on us when we're trying our best to understand what they're going through. And here's a quick example. I have this new client that I just started training. She's a bodybuilder, right? And she's a badass. And we were talking about different things. And I told her, I was like, listen, I understand that women have periods and the cramps and this and that and whatever. And I said, and I literally said like I'm saying it now. And I say this probably every 3 or 4 podcasts. Yes, we get it. We don't know what it's like to have those cramps. And you guys are all different. Some of y'all bleed more. Some of y'all have stomach pains more. Some of y'all are more emotional, this and that. I get it. And I know it's official. I know it's legit. I just happen to think that a lot of y'all milk it a little bit too much instead of trying to overcome it. Same way if we fucking hurt ourselves, if we cut ourselves, if we, we can be like, fuck, this hurts like shit. Oh my God, we can do all that. Or we can be like, if our father's looking at us or our homeboys are there, we're like, fucking this shit, yo, just give me a Band-Aid. This shit hurts. It hurts. You manned up. You toughen it up. Because you have to. Yeah. I don't think women do that enough when they're going through these emotional states that a lot of them are influenced by, that time of the month. That's something that I would shoot at them.
Interesting.
May I? So it's funny you bring this up because my girlfriend the other day. So there's like 3 moments in I guess where she's feeling really bad that I need to be careful. Okay. One is when she's hangry, both hungry and because if she's really hungry, it gets to the point where she gets so hungry she gets angry. So that's where the hangry comes in. So when she's hangry, I got to be careful how I talk to her because she just fucking steamrolls through everything. Her period is another one, and when she's stressed. I think those were the 3. So the other day I was talking to her, and I'm like, hey, look, if you know that the time of the month is coming, you know that sometimes you may be a little bit more reactive or maybe more emotional. Like, you are. Like, there's times that she'll cry over nothing. And then after, like, her period goes by, a week will go by, we talk about it, and she's like, it's my emotions, my period, I can't help it. So then I told her, I'm like, hey, look, like, if we're going to be in that kind of, those days, shouldn't you kind of maybe like, okay, wait, let me check myself real quick. Like, I know I might be emotional, but maybe am I being emotional or do I make sense? Right. Could it be the hormones? Let me take a second. But she says that she can't do that because she is emotional. She can't turn into logic.
And at that point, we have to just take that. We have to accept that, right? We can't challenge that.
Because I'm thinking, listen, like, I sometimes feel some shit, but I'm like, okay, let me check myself. Like, am I right? Am I wrong? But when she's on her period in this case, or whenever she's like in one of those zones, there's nothing that I can say that'll steer her like into making like a logic decision because emotionally she is right. And there's no way. You feel the same as happened to you?
Yeah, for sure.
I've actually had this conversation where I'm like, you don't think you can? And she's like, no, I try, but no, like it's not gonna happen. I can't.
But like to me, to my point, like I'm gonna add a point into it where it might be a little bit controversial, but like you've had a period for, I don't know, 15 years.
Yeah, exactly, right.
You want to tell me that you can't control it at this point? Like,
fuck, dude. Yes, I get it, dude.
I feel like it's a little insensitive. I feel women are going to fucking rank
I'm with you on that, Marv. I'm with you on that.
I wish.
I understand that for men, we have a hormonal, the cycle is 24 hours. For women, it's 28 days. Give or take. Yeah, for us, it's just 24 hours, and we feel the same way every single day. For women, they do not. I don't understand that. All the signs, I get it. But dude, you've been having your period since you were like maybe 14 years old.
Like regulate that shit.
Yes, you're 31 years old. You want to tell me that you can't control your emotions throughout the month?
Knowing when it's coming
knowing when it's coming, knowing how to speak, knowing you need to take a minute, knowing maybe you need to take a breath,
an extra breath,
maybe take a walk, take a nap.
It's like telling it's like telling somebody who has a short temper, you can work on that, you can fix it.
Yes.
There's ways. You're right. I completely agree, and I know there's going to be extreme cases where maybe your girl is one of those examples, Chris. Maybe some women that button switches off, and no, they can no longer think logically. But if you say that to a woman, they feel insulted. But you're pretty much telling us the proof is in the pudding. If you're telling me you can't get a grip and calm that shit down, then you are illogical right now, bitch.
Yeah.
Slow down, chill. Let the man take over and remind you, hey, you're doing it. I'm gonna walk away.
You're seeing red.
Just take a minute, take a second, and think about the process. What's happening right now?
Have you done that?
The thing is, Claudia is not that bad, to be honest. She's like. She has her moments, and I can tell like where she's a little bit emotional. Like we'll talk, she just starts crying and shit like that, and I'm like, "What the fuck are you crying?" So she just gets more emotional than anything. She doesn't get like angry. Well, she's maybe a little bit less patient, but it's minimal. It's not like anything crazy. She'll be a little bit more emotional. She'll cry a little bit more randomly for the least amount of things, but it's manageable.
Bro, I
gotta say that.
I'll give you a very stupid comical example. I don't want to say seeing this chick, but whatever. You can say seeing her, but we were messing around. We were just messing around. We knew it was going nowhere. We were just, whatever, being each other's friends with privileges type ordeal. But we would hang out, and I know there's people out there who are going to be like, well, you're not supposed to hang out like this if you're just friends with privileges or if you're just fucking. But we would hang out, like movie night or chill or whatever. So I'm very picky about movies, period. Just on my own, I'm very picky about movies, and I'm even pickier if I'm going to watch one with you. Like, what type of person are you if I'm going to watch a movie with you, right? So this is our first official, movie watch. And we chose this movie respectfully. Bro, this bitch would not shut up. And everything was an emotional outburst. Like, the minute something happened, it was like, oh, my God, I hate when that happens. Oh, it's jumping, and I just missed, 15 words or whatever the actors were saying. And I was like, I'm not gonna click, she's into the movie. She's a woman. That's how it is. Right. Man, it was like the fourth time, and I paused the movie right there. I said, "Hey, no disrespect. Are you gonna do this the whole fucking movie? How am I gonna watch the movie and enjoy the movie and get the context of the movie if you keep just blurting out these emotions and how could he indulge it? I hate when and I just missed part of the movie. Like, let's watch the fucking movie."
What did she say?
She felt insulted, but you know what she did? She did exactly what most women would do. Oh, okay. I was just, all right, fine. I'm just going to be quiet. I go, now don't get like that.
Yeah.
Don't get mad. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm just saying, you keep talking over the movie, and you're doing it when there's an emotional part where a woman is something involving a woman, and you're getting involved in that woman, I hate when men, and now you got it. And I just missed part of the movie. Don't get mad. Chill out.
So you're speaking like a man would think when you need to speak how a woman would think if you're going to try to communicate with women. And I say this because you make total sense. Like, shut the fuck up. That makes sense. But at the end of the day, she's probably feeling like, oh my God, I like this movie. I love what's happening. I'm getting into it. Like, I feel like, right, oh my God, like, look, what's happening? Oh my God, look at it. So for you, you have to find a way to give that answer or kind of communicate that where she would understand. Whereas,
I mean, Chris,
because you came from a logical point of view, which
but
is true.
you got a point.
Women, they don't see that.
Okay, but at what point do men get to be just fucking men? Why do I got to do all this bowing down and go just to ask you to please fucking stop talking so much during the movie? I mean, we all been to movies back in the days. Do you like when somebody's talking too much?
Not at all.
There's no change. She could have been like, by the way, I hate when that happens, and this and that. But I'll wait till later on when we take a piss break. No, it was always.
Let's look at the good news though. When did this happen?
Probably like 2-3 months ago.
You still seeing this
ago? Hell no.
Exactly. So look, what we did was dodge a bullet. So this was the best thing that could have happened to you.
Of course.
You're not with that girl who doesn't shut the fuck up during movies.
I'm just saying in general.
She did you a favor.
That's one of those things. Yeah. But she thought I was out of line, and I had to, circle back and say, hey, don't get in a bad mood because of that. Because after I said
then
that,
it's like
she was in a weird, awkward mood.
I don't want to watch this movie
And,
anymore.
exactly. And it was time to take a piss break. And I said, hey, can you shake that? Because I can tell that you are still whatever. No, I'm just being quiet like you asked me to. Here we go, dude. Like, why are you going so extreme with it? Did you not notice you were talking? Come on now, hon. Don't be like that, because you get like that, and I'm gonna brush you off quicker than hell and get real cold. Don't play that game. This is stupid.
What you could have also done is you could have done the same shit as she did. So every single time you'd be like, "Oh my God, did you see what just happened?" And then she's gonna be like, "Wow, this is really annoying."
No,
Like,
because
exactly,
she would probably entertain. Oh no, I can't believe it.
Exactly.
And now
Exactly.
you have a
Yeah,
fucking
nah.
conversation over the movie. A lot of times it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And
Of course, I
maybe
agree.
You could have worded it in a
That's
way.
what I'm saying.
But
yeah.
you saying it's like, why do I have to tiptoe over the issue that you need to shut the fuck up when we're watching a movie? And I get it. It's a very logical thing to
And by the way, I would never tell somebody like that, shut the fuck up and nothing like that. No.
I get it.
It was
Marvin would.
it was literally, hun, real talk, like no disrespect. Are you gonna keep doing this throughout? That's exactly how I did it. Are you gonna keep doing this throughout the movie?
Yo, Marvin, yo, real talk. You gonna keep talking in this movie?
I'm gonna be like, oh fuck, this guy's about to beat my ass.
My bad, dude. All right, I'm sorry, dude.
You're gonna be like, yo,
I like the
fuck.
movie.
I saw this clip on Instagram a few weeks back, dude. It's so real though. They showed that they said the difference between men and women, and you can tell it was couples celebrating somebody's birthday, right? But they were all couples, dude. It was like 15 women sitting around. They're all in the backyard. 15 women sitting around. Yeah, girl, no, cheers and just talking, whatever. And then the camera goes to where the men are at. Dog, there's two guys wrestling. There's other guys doing some stupid manly shit, the flip cup, really man shit. And I'm like, dude, why is that? Why? Like, I would want my girl there. I don't want to be all separate with the guys. I damn near, no homo, I damn near want to date a tomboy. You know, like that's what I'd be more into. Yes, I don't want to be like, yo, baby, I'm gonna go hang with the fellas. It's like, nah, like my girl's down, she can hang.
Yeah, you gotta find that girl in the gym for sure, because she's not afraid to get her hands dirty.
Right,
Those girls at the
that's
bar,
a good start.
The girls at the bar, they're like, oh, dainty, want to look pretty, dress up, makeup, stuff like that. Not that you don't find them at the gym either.
Yeah.
But girls at the gym, like, they know what it is to, like, oh, I gotta fucking get my hands dirty. I gotta grab shit. Gotta work for shit. Delayed gratification. Being a part of shit community. You gotta talk to people. Whereas, like, all these pretty girls are almost like, don't talk to me or unless you were gonna buy me a drink and shit like that.
You moved to South Beach a while ago now.
Yeah.
You still live in your area is what? Is that the route? No.
It's Hialeah.
Hialeah.
It's a nice part of Hialeah. Yeah. Disclaimer.
Do you guys see yourself staying in Miami for the long run?
Ooh.
Because
Good question.
truth be told, like it's not really not to down talk us, but it's not meant for us, man. Like this shit is out of hand with cost.
Yeah.
The traffic is out of hand. All these people from Cali, New York, and other places buying up everything. Like, do you guys see yourself staying? Have you talked to your women about that? I mean, sometimes your careers will have to make you stay here. I don't know. It depends.
Yeah, it's a great question, and to be honest with you, my partner, she's very family oriented.
Well, that's
to the
great.
point where if we do have kids, when we do have kids, she would want her family to be involved, and I understand, and I've spoken to a lot of people. Family is very important, especially when you have kids, because you want them involved, and a lot of times you need the support. And
You do.
I get that.
Bro, when you guys are gonna work, somebody's got to help take care. So if you guys want to have a date, like you need family, bro. They help.
100%. And I have colleagues of mine that I work with that don't have family.